Through the internet is possible. Why can't we not do it?
That's a great
Speaking
point.
of starting
That
things
should be the
tonight,
topic of
it is 10:08 p.m. Atlantic Daylight Savings Time. That means only one thing: that Lake Night with Take 3 is live. As Matt tries to stab me with the sword ineffectively, we'll keep you posted throughout the night how much damage he does give. But yeah, welcome to Lake Night with Take 3. A very laid-back show, nonetheless. Topical Pop Culture Podcast, joined by mostly Take 3 members, but the person who kindly knocked on the back door asked if they could come on. I said, sure, why not? Great guy, nonetheless. He has been on Take 3 before in the form of Tupac's Trivia. Great guy all around. Jay Burns. Jay, what is up, my friend?
Don't go spreading lies about me to your internet friends. I'm not a good person.
Yes, you are.
Although you do think that Dumbledore is one of the most evil Harry Potter characters, and
I can prove
and you
that.
convinced that.
I'm sorry. Did you say Dumbledore?
Yeah, and once you hear his pitch, you will understand. You'll
I've
understand,
never
but you'll
heard
have to
the character Dumbledore. Dumbledore's brother.
Dumbledore.
You said Dumble.
I said Dumble. Sandy, you need to control your rhyme and reason.
I was
he is violent and vicious. He has a sword.
I was just going to welcome Cody Newberry to the chat here. Take in the form of Matt Kearns. Matt, wow.
Okay, you know what, Sandy? You know what? That's insulting to me. Okay, that's insulting to me.
He's got more hair than Cody.
That is true as well.
You're not wrong.
Also, you were implying that I would ever root for any team from Boston. What does it matter with you, Sandy? And to think that I used to say you were the reason in rhyme and reason.
All right.
Was that
also joining us is Malcolm. Malcolm, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Just waiting patiently with my Kingdom Hearts key.
Now, in the battle of a key versus a sword, what wins? Because like I never understood. And mind you, I've never played the games. But why does he carry a big key around?
Because he's a pussy, and that's what Disney does.
That's a good question. I never played the games really, so I don't know.
It's to unlock the hearts get the hearts of the princesses and stuff. And
that sounds like a pitch for a really bad rom-com. Like, I want to get this girl to fall in love with me. What am I gonna do? Well, you're gonna buy this really big key, and you're gonna unlock her heart.
Okay, the Keyblade is the world's most ineffective sword breaker.
There you go, Malcolm. I know all about your little Keyblade. I have
Kingdom Hearts.
I have 10 of them.
You have 10 hearts?
I have a heart.
Awesome, Sandy. That makes sense, actually, with you. That makes sense.
Hi, Abe.
Hello. Oh, I had a beat ready, but I was going to take out the gun, but I wanted Malcolm.
Get your booger hook off the trigger.
The views represented by Abe Flores are not represented the views of Take 3 Productions and its affiliates.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Smokey, you're entering a world.
That's gonna be a GIF. That's gonna be a GIF of him just like clicking the trigger.
Entering a world of hate.
So guys,
I had something else to say.
Have you heard nothing, Abe? Ever take a gun to a sword fight?
I'm really happy to be here to talk about my favorite drop. Here.
Oh God!
All right, so you guys want to play a game? Let's play a game. You want to play games?
Sure.
Come on, I'll break a bottle somewhere and let's play games. You know, Michael Keaton, Batman '89, words in and around my mouth. Yeah. So we're gonna play 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Which one's that again?
So that is the one where you say actor is in movie with actor, and then the other person goes actor B was in a different movie with a different actor. Franchise rule is obviously in effect. For MCU, the trilogies and stuff, James Bond, just going off the actor. We will get Jay to start first. Jay's going to ask me, and then I'm going to ask Abe. Abe's going to ask Sandy. Sandy's going to ask Kearns. Kearns is going to ask Malcolm. Malcolm will ask Jay. That'll be the vicious cycle that we have. So
okay,
Jay,
well, I don't get to fail until the end, so
you have the daunting task of thinking of an actor that was in a movie with another actor.
I know. God, there's so many. I think it'll work. Charlton Heston.
Was in what?
What?
You
with
have to say like.
Oh, with who?
So
Okay.
Charlton Heston was in a movie with this person.
Shit, was he in that last the Planet of the Apes movie, the really shitty one directed by the guy who never should have touched Willy Wonka? That sounds really bad.
No one
That
can
sounds
touch him.
really bad. All right, you put me on the spot here, and I don't want to go to IMDb.
You could just.
I'm
give
sorry.
You could give
Jay,
a different, easier one.
Sir, I haven't met you, but you any actor in any movie with another actor, you're literally just.
I know. I'm thinking of. I'm trying to not think of like 9 million actors. Okay, so
I've got such a good one for Jay. I would absolutely kill whoever next. Damn, Jay. Damn.
Sean Bean was in Pixels with Kevin James.
Kevin James was in Paul Blart Mall Cop with oh my god, Paul Blart Mall Cop with, because I picked the wrong movie. God damn it, I picked the
He hesitated. He's fucked.
Can I change my movie or no?
Oh.
No.
Paul Blart.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. Kevin James was in Paul Blart. Kevin James was in Paul Blart Mall Cop with Rosario Dawson, but I realized halfway through that I picked the wrong movie. Kevin James was in Zoolander with Rosario Dawson, but I'm wrong, so I'm out.
You mean Zookeeper?
Zookeeper. You know what I fucking mean. The one that he's in a zoo with, and that what's her name? A comedian has a bit on him. He's like, Rosario Dawson should get an Oscar for convincing people that she wanted to fuck Kevin James. Amy Schumer had a bit on that. That was like, Rosario Dawson deserved an Oscar nomination for convincing people that she wanted.
We haven't even done a.
So the real question is, who did Amy Schumer steal that bit from?
I like Amy Schumer.
So anyway,
Abe,
next
get
week's
that
stuff.
fresh.
Abe, yeah.
Lily James was in Cinderella with Kate Blanchett.
That's you, Sandy.
Oh, me? Okay. Kate Blanchett was in The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay. Leonardo DiCaprio was in Inception with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in The Dark Knight Rises with Gary Oldman.
All right.
Gary Oldman was in The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis.
Nice.
Bruce Willis was in Death Becomes Her with Goldie Hawn.
Oh, is that me again?
Yeah.
I know what Matt's hoping for.
Shut up, Malcolm.
Goldie Hawn was in Overboard with Kurt Russell.
All right. Now we're
You essentially gave a madman a grenade.
I
You can just throw it anywhere.
That's okay. I'm the puppet master.
Yeah.
I'll be far away when it blows.
Kurt Russell was in Backdraft with Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro was in Heat with
It's-
Al
it's-
Pacino.
it's me.
It's
I'm so sorry.
please do this. Funny.
Robert De Niro was in The Godfather with Marlon Brando.
That is wrong. He was in Godfather Part 2, which Marlon Brando was not in.
So Jay, you start fresh.
So many Robert De Niro movies, and that's what you had to go with, Malcolm. Here.
Why didn't you just steal mine?
Yeah, I was going to say, man, he literally just gave you one.
So do we start over or
You start
do I-
over, yeah.
Sorry, you
Okay.
can do whatever.
It's called I wasn't listening. I was in my own head thinking.
Would it have counted if he said The Godfather Epic?
No.
Yeah. No. Did anyone watch that? I tried to, but it was like 7 hours. I didn't get through it.
Godfather Epic?
The Godfather Epic was HBO. They put the movie in chronological order, the first two films, so it starts with all the Robert De Niro stuff, then goes in Godfather 1 and 2, but 2 doesn't have any of
that
the
sounds like a
backstory
very
stuff.
fun. That sounds like a very fun thing to do on your day off.
And it's
Harley Quinn
7 hours.
Smith was with Johnny Depp, appears with Johnny Depp in the movie Yoga Hosers.
Johnny Depp. I'm pretty sure it's in a movie with Kevin Bacon, which I cannot remember. Isn't he? No.
Abe, I don't
Wrong.
think it would help since Brooklyn didn't explain the Kevin Bacon rule of 60 days.
It's still Johnny Depp was in Alice in Wonderland with Alan Rickman.
Oh, all right. That's nice of you.
I was gonna say Mia, but I cannot pronounce her last name.
Mila Jovovich?
No, it's Mia
Jonas?
Wasikowska, something like that.
Oh, Mia
Mila
Wasikowski.
Jovovich is not in that movie.
The movie you're thinking of, Abe, was Black Mass. With
Oh,
that,
he's in that.
it was that with Bacon.
All right. It's time to get nasty.
Time for the dick punches.
Yep.
Dick punches. Okay.
Alan Rickman was in Die Hard with
Wait, didn't Abe give you one?
Yeah, I gave him Alan Rickman.
yeah, gave me
Oh,
Alan Rickman.
look at, I thought you said a completely different name. You said something with an M.
Oh, I said I wanted to say Mia Wasikowska, but
Okay, I got
her name.
confused by that. I'm sorry.
All right, so
Yeah, what's it called?
Alan Rickman was in Die Hard with Bonnie Badella.
Okay. Wow, Sandy, you're really just being an asshole to me.
Is that
Bonnie
the wife?
Badella. Yeah.
I gave you Kurt Russell.
Yeah, all right. You know, it's in there. Okay, Bonnie Badella.
Matthew suddenly realizing that he cannot have his cake and eat it too.
You know what, Brooklyn? Which one of
What?
us was out in round one?
I was.
Bonnie Badella.
You got some point.
Oh man.
Bonnie Badella was in Die Hard 2 with Bruce Willis.
Franchise rule. Why am I yawning? It's
What
not
other
even
movies
11.
is this woman in?
She would be in Presumed Innocence with Harrison Ford, but
That's one of the few. If you watched Rankin with Harrison Ford, that's one of the few Harrison Ford films I've not seen. Fuck off, Sandy. All right. have
Wasn't she
fun.
also in Needful Things?
there she was.
What is that movie? What even is that?
Is it a film?
Came out in the early 90s.
Okay, I love that.
Talked, and then they put.
I love that now that Brooklyn got out, that it's all like, oh, come on, I know all about the movies. Because I got IMDb open here.
I'm not saying that I know it. You asked what Needful Things was, and I gave you the smartass answer. It is a film.
It's a Stephen King adaptation as well.
It is.
Oh, really?
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Man, that'd be a good episode. Stephen King
Yeah,
adaptation.
in October. Or when does It Chapter 2 come out?
I'll check that first.
That's not
Well,
even the
Pet
first
Sem-
one. Pet Cemetery
Well,
is first.
Pet Cemetery.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
That's bad. That's
note,
like a month.
note to self. Do Stephen King adaptations whenever Pet Sematary comes out. Somebody remind me of
Misery
this
is
moment.
the best, though.
It's coming out on, I believe. Let me just
Against
Correct
Shazam, I
answer is
think
Shawshank with Green
it's
Malibu.
April 5th, I think, against Shazam. It opens against Shazam.
It comes out on my birthday, April 5th.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, so Matt's out. Who's who?
So
No,
I think it's Jay, Abe, and Tim.
No, is
Yeah.
Malcolm out?
Malcolm's
Malcolm.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, Malcolm's out.
He picked Robert De Niro in a movie that he wasn't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, The Godfather. Okay.
Oh, so is it on me?
Yes.
New movie, new people.
Jesus. Okay. Oh.
This somebody's skywriting the answer for Jay. Right.
They are. I'm staring at it.
Seven.
No, it's starting to snow again where I'm at, and it's fucking. My thermometer says it's 40 degrees outside. There's something wrong here.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you be talking about how cold it is.
Yeah.
No, I'm complaining that it's too warm for it to snow. You dicks. Adam Sandler was in.
If he says pixels again,
He could.
Could I really?
Yeah, you can.
And
We're
you
starting fresh.
can't.
No.
I love Pixels, so that's great.
Adam Sandler was in Funny People with the RZA.
With who?
The RZA. The RZA. From the Wu-Tang Clan?
That's like
Story checks out. Story checks out.
Story checks out? Yeah, you're damn right. The story checks out.
Good luck with that, Abe.
Yeah, just go.
Look, I'm done. I just want to see who the fuck this person is.
Abe's given up on trying to think of a movie. The
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan was a rap group in.
Yeah.
Was? Don't be disrespectful.
Still,
They
I don't
still are.
listen to music unless it's
I think they're
by
making a
John
movie.
Williams.
I think they're making a
movie
TV
about
show
Wu-Tang.
based on.
Reason? Okay, if she has not on it all her IMDb credit, oh no, she's in fucking.
What the fuck is Abe doing?
I'm done.
It's RZA,
He
bro.
lost.
RZA.
And now he's trying to figure out if this person is in another movie.
All
He
right.
was in The Man with the Iron Fists.
He was
Oh.
in American Gangster, directed by Ridley Scott. Repo Man.
It's a great movie. American Gangster is an awesome movie.
I knew that he was an American Gangster, so.
Is that the one with Ryan Gosling and
Emma Stone.
No.
That's Gangster Squad, isn't it?
Gangster Squad. Okay.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington.
No, American. Yeah, Denzel Washington.
Okay, yeah,
Should we
yeah.
tell Legia 4? Who else is in that?
He was also
Common, I believe, is in it.
There's Brolin, Emma Stone, right?
Not in.
Oh, you're talking Gangster Squad or American
Josh
Gangster?
Brolin's an American Gangster as well.
Yeah.
Josh
Yeah.
Brolin.
I said
Josh
that.
Brolin's
And
Russell
Russell Crowe, the big guy.
It's an awesome movie.
Yeah. So,
Literally any of these could be used for
Okay.
sure.
So who's it down to now? It's down to Sandy and
so
Jay.
it's me and Jay, and I get to start. So,
Best luck, Jay.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
I'm fucked.
They're throwing their Bonnie Bedelia at you.
I'm gonna do what Jay should have done at the very beginning of this match, and I'm gonna say Charlton Heston was in Planet of the Apes with Roddy McDowell.
That's true.
Sandy drinking its coffee like a boss. Like
I don't
your
think that was the one he was thinking of.
It wasn't, but
It's not as funky as the one he was thinking of. Feel it, feel it, feel it.
Roddy McDowell
Look at
was
Sandy.
in No, that's the wrong one. That's the thinking of the wrong person.
It was in the best picture one.
I think Sandy's won this, but I'll give it my best shot. Roddy McDowell was in Go Fuck Yourself with Your Mother.
Judges?
That's wrong. That's wrong. He was in the sequel.
I
He was
don't
in the
even-
sequel.
Go fuck
Keep
yourself.
fucking yourself?
Sister.
Yes, he's in the sequel. I'm sorry.
Waddy,
Good game, Sandy.
Keep on fucking yourself.
Waddy McDowell was in A Bug's Life with Kevin Spacey.
I was
You mean Christopher Plummer? You mean Christopher Plummer?
I was actually trying to bring it all full circle so that Jay would have an opportunity because Roddy McDowell was in Overboard.
He was in a ton of movies. I don't know. I did not know him.
Anyways, so that was a good warm up game of 6 Degrees.
Yeah, 6 degrees and shenanigans. Everyone making us pissed.
As we were playing that game, I was trying to think of stuff to talk about. I forgot about the two major things that sort of happened this week. They're very shocking. We had two huge losses in the entertainment world this week. Luke Perry obviously of 90210. And Riverdale, unfortunately, passed away of a stroke at the age of 52. Way too young to leave us. And then not a wrestler that I am super versed in, but I'm sure many people here can speak on it. King Kong Bundy passed away at the age of 61. I attached with Luke Perry on Riverdale. He was the one reason that I kept going back because that movie or that series was cheesy and was cheesy as balls. But Luke Perry was always that like sensible sort of voice of reason. He did great as Archie's dad. And you were always rooting for him and just every obstacle that was thrown at him, he was able to sort of manipulate it and use it to get the best performance. The man gone too soon. But I'll pass it off to the panel here. I'll start with Sandy because I know Sandy, you talk a lot about a love for 90210. What are some of your favorite Luke Perry moments?
It's not just it's not just 90210 because everybody knows him from that, and I mean he was so great in that, and his arc in that entire series was so good, and I really loved him as Dylan McKay. But he did some, one of my guilty pleasures is 8 Seconds. He's in that, and where he plays a bull rider a true life story where he plays a bull rider that ends up dying. He was a decent actor. He didn't even really want to be an actor. He was in construction. He didn't even go to the first audition for he was actually auditioning for Brandon, which was Jason Priestley's role, and he decided to skip it until his agent called and said, "Dude, go." And so he ended up going, but they'd already cast Jason Priestley, so they created the role of Dylan for him because he was awesome. And so that's how that all turned about. It's just, it really does. You can be in shape, you can be, you're thin, but if you're not checking with your doctors, if you're not making sure everything is going okay, I implore everybody, 52 is too young to die, and especially when you've got he leaves a wife, 2 kids. It's just a really horrible tragedy for that to go on there. King Kong Bundy was during my generation of wrestling, in the early 80s. He was Hulk Hogan's big foil for the most part. Just a great actor. He was a big round wop of a guy, and but just lovable, like a lot of people said about Andre. He was just a big cuddly teddy bear off screen, but he just played this mean, nasty guy all the time. And he was he'll be missed. I hope that, I mean, it's sad to say, but I hope now that he's passed, that he gets an induction into the Hall of Fame because he truly deserves it.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, Jonathan Peck has brought up a very interesting fact, and I'll be curious to see what happens now with his sudden departure. The last time we're probably going to see him in film is going to be Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is, I mean, it's going to be a huge movie. But yeah, pass it off to Jay. Your thoughts on the passing of Luke Perry and King Kong Bundy?
I think Sandy hit the nail on the head. 52 is just way too young. So is 61 even. Even if you put your body on the line. 1 second. No, I'm good. Luke Perry was always one of those people that I like to look for in like cameo roles. So when he cameoed as Inspector Spacetime in Community.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
I actually loved that. And that little bit part that he had at the beginning of The Fifth Element, to bring it back to The Fifth Element just for a second. Aziz Light. Yeah, it sucks. I didn't watch 90210, but yeah, anytime anybody who's brought any sort of joy or happiness into your life suddenly leaves, it's a void, and you got to try to fill it. And there's really nothing else I can say.
Now, do you remember his cameo in Family Guy?
Wasn't he playing like?
He was playing
like Dylan, right? Like he was.
Peter was spread. It was an early season episode. I think it would have been season 2, maybe early season 3. But Peter essentially started a rumor that Luke Perry was gay.
Yes.
And that is why I am the Family Guy trivia champion.
That's right, you are.
Malcolm, Matt, Abe, anything to add on Luke Perry or King Kong Bundy?
I mean, like I'm one that always enjoyed what I do. Actually, enjoy watching Riverdale. I really like it, despite it being cheesy.
It's a love-hate relationship with that show. Like, it's so bad, but you have to go back to it.
As soon as they bring the Predator to Riverdale, I'll start watching.
I mean, well, yes, the writing isn't that great. I do think the acting is really good though, and I'm not just saying that because it's got a Kiwi actor in it, but yeah, all the same, like Luke, it's going to be interesting to sort of see how much Luke Perry actually got to sort of film on Riverdale before they sort of stopped production, because they've stopped production for a while, so they can sort of figure out what they're going to do now, like so they can recoup, just kind of like what Glee had to do when Corey Monteith passed way back at the time. And like I don't know much about King Kong Bundy. I've seen a few of his matches, but like it's always sad when someone dies anyway. Like a lot of wrestlers do seem to have a really shorter life than most because of all the sort of damage that they can take in the time, and especially if they do a lot of hardcore matches with chairs and ladders and chairs.
Headshots yeah. Are that's a discussion for a different day. I have a very I'm I'm not heated in that conversation, but I have a lot of friends that have, like, even not even wrestling, just sports in general, that have had a lot of concussions, and I'm seeing that almost sort of deterioration, just sort of the loss of the person. But yeah, Matt, you had something to add there as well?
I mean, sadly, my only ever viewing of Luke Perry's acting was in Fifth Element. I never seen 90210. I don't watch Riverdale. Never knew King Kong Bundy. I don't. So, but it's still, listen, it's sad when anyone dies, especially people in the entertainment industry, because they brought happiness to someone somewhere. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So to go on a lighter note here, if you saw a post that I made with the top 10 Facebook Facebook page, you would have seen a very interesting debate, and this is so close that I need to bring this up again because we're still like I just updated the poll now, and it's still 29-26. But the question that I also just put in the chat, and I got to hear opinions because I think I see Sandy's vote and Malcolm's vote and Abe's vote, but I got to hear like Matt and Jay. Me and a buddy have.
Sorry.
Me and a buddy were having this argument while I was cooking and whatnot, and I was making a delicious loaf of banana bread. And the question is, do chocolate chips belong to banana bread? I don't think they do, because then it's not focusing on the banana. It's like, oh, it's a chocolate. It's like, it's chocolate with banana bread. You know what I mean? So
they already have those. The muffins. They're chocolate chip muffins.
Yeah, exactly. Or chocolate chip cookies.
Leave the banana alone.
Or just chocolate bread.
Yeah.
Wait. So you're getting vehement about them adding chocolate chips to banana bread.
I guess you would say I'm a banana bread purist.
Okay, so do you make just pure banana bread, or do you add walnuts to it?
You can crust it. You can crust it with walnuts.
You know what? It's good in banana bread. Some sesame seeds, some black and white sesame seeds.
What? So now you're just disrespecting banana bread.
Okay.
No, it's true. I tried.
I need to hear that because
I saw this video and I said, oh, I'm gonna try it and do it, and it tasted really good.
Okay, now
they make it in a bakery in Atlanta, I think.
Sue's gonna hate me whenever I say this, but whenever I first had banana bread, she told me a story of whenever she was a kid, her and her dad, and I kid you not, put Cheese Whiz on banana bread, and I guess it was one of the most glorious things ever. I do not understand. This is also the same father-in-law that puts coleslaw dressing on almost everything.
Strange. Okay.
So
I'm with Jay on that one.
Okay. So are you saying you hate your father-in-law?
No, I'm saying
what is the question?
I'm saying I love my father-in-law dearly, but some combinations that he comes up with, I'm just not sure.
Brooklyn, what is the question you're asking me to answer?
So, do chocolate chips belong? Are chocolate chips a necessity when having banana bread?
Give me a second.
They're not a necessity.
But does it enhance the product?
There's my answer.
Wow.
I didn't.
You see, Matt, here's the thing. I sit here while you and the rest of the panel talk about Kurt Russell movies and how great Kurt Russell is and all these things. The one fucking time I bring up food and you're like, oh, I don't care. I'm not going to give my
opinion. Didn't you get an entire show devoted to sandwiches?
It was my birthday. Yes, it was.
Yeah. And I wasn't on that episode. Yeah.
I think Brooklyn is an idiot.
I mean, I've had banana bread with chocolate chips and without. I'm a husky person, so if the banana bread tastes good, I don't really give a shit.
But if you had to pick, like what's the better one though?
I don't know. I like chocolate chips again.
See, my left moob says with, my right says without. So like I'm stuck right down the middle.
I will say one of the worst breakfast dishes I ever had was at a restaurant in town. They're doing a special of banana bread French toast, and I was like, I gotta try this to see how it goes.
That doesn't seem like it connects, but
it doesn't.
It doesn't seem like it would work. I'm sorry, I think I broke Sandy.
Because if you're making French toast the way you're supposed to, it seems like the banana bread would get lost in it.
It doesn't get lost, but it's the texture of the banana bread. Because when you're soaking it in the eggs and the cream and stuff, it just gives it a weird texture. Like you need something. You need something like dense, like with gluten. Like that's why like a brioche really works well.
I have a question though, just because I did listen to the top 10 show this week. Did that come up in the episode this week, or why did you put it to the top 10 group?
Why? Because I don't remember. It might have been like a couple of months ago. I remember a conversation about how Matt knows
Matt knows like banana bread.
He adores banana bread. Like he's a
That was.
connoisseur.
I meant to ask you that. I meant to be like, what does this have to do with top 10?
It wasn't this week, but I know that Matt has said at one point he's a connoisseur or something along those lines of banana bread.
They got sent like 8 different loaves of banana bread like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
that's what it was. But yeah,
I'm a staunch middle of the roader here. I don't necessarily need it. It doesn't necessarily enhance it, but when it's there, I don't mind it.
Now, does anyone else put butter on a banana bread?
Of course,
yes.
Of course,
I'll just eat it
a little bit of salt. Yeah, bro.
You just don't like flavor.
Me?
I mean, like it's not the greatest thing for you, but it enhances the. I don't know. I agree with Jay.
I've
that,
never
like,
tried it.
that like
It's like
extra bit of salt.
strawberries and cheese.
Man! You want to hear a story about strawberries and cheese?
Why do I feel like you're about to tell us a story about how you like really felt like you were Remy the Rat showing
Or
his
about
brother?
your father-in-law did something with butter and cheese?
No, there's a regular at work, and it's every freaking day he gets a fried egg sandwich, but he's very particular on how he gets a sandwich. So it literally goes bread, like it's toasted, so it's like it's toast, jam, fried egg, cheese, bread. Nothing else. It has to be in that order. The cheese and the jam can't touch for some reason.
Ew!
And he gets it every day.
No, okay, so I understand that.
But
I don't respect it, but like there are certain things like back in the day when I used to smoke weed, I would get kettle chips, the cheddar, and dip it into the rainbow sherbet. Weird, right? I know. Good as hell though.
You sound like the same person
Good as hell,
that dips chicken burgers in Wendy's Frosties.
No, you dip French fries in Frosties.
Oh.
Okay, you dip French fries in chocolate fries.
I have friends that do that as well, and it kind of makes sense.
Why take something hot and salty and fluffy and crunchy and make it wilty cold? And
it's the same reason. It's the same reason people add peanuts and caramel to their ice cream. Salty.
Not all of us do.
Well, some people do. They're not right, but you know.
I mean, I can't, so I can't.
I nearly gagged this morning when I saw somebody put it was like a aerosol thing of like Reese's peanut butter cup whipped cream or something. I'm in the minority of people that think that peanut butter and chocolate do not belong together whatsoever.
Ooh.
I don't think that we need aerosolized whipped cream that's Reese's peanut butter flavored. Like, just let whipped cream be.
Oh man! Speaking of cheese, does anybody have an opinion on adding? Because I know this is a thing down in the States, Canada not so much. Adding cheese to apple pie.
I've never seen that ever.
No,
but that's a no from me, dog.
Okay, so that's a Southern thing.
Oh,
like that's not something you will find in like the Midwest. That's not something you'll find in the East. That's not something you'll find in the South. Thing? That's not something that you'll find in the West.
There's a reason why they lost the Civil War.
That's straight up a Southern thing. It's like boiled peanuts,
for Southern viewers. But it's
like putting peanuts in your Coca-Cola. That's just not some shit you do.
What?
Yeah,
I am almost positive that Jay said it's like boiled penis.
No, peanuts.
And I'm
actually have another conversation.
Boiled penis is for free snake wine.
Oh my God.
I'm just gonna be quiet before Jay comes over here and smacks me with his moves.
Oh dear. Okay, I think I'm on to a more active participating conversation. Let's talk about some movie news.
I think that was participatory.
You were participatory. You were participatory in the matter of I don't give a fuck about this. Let's just move on.
And then I gave you a legitimate answer, Brooklyn.
You gave a legitimate answer the same way that like Cody gives a legitimate answer about hockey. He just doesn't give a fuck and wants to move on.
Did you not hear my answer that I said I have had banana bread both ways? I would prefer it with chocolate chips.
You already hear he goes both ways, but he likes chocolate chips.
It reminds me of the Jim Gaffigan bit. It's like, are you gluten-free / a terrorist? So thank God for Jonathan Peck. He's gathering up some movie news for us. Some subtle reminders of stuff to talk about. One thing that I'm kind of quite surprised about is the sudden acting change in Suicide Squad. Will Smith no longer Deadshot. He is being replaced by who I'm going to start calling this generation's Morgan Freeman, or not Morgan Freeman, Samuel L. Jackson, because he seems to be popping up in everything. Idris Elba.
Well, as long as you don't
Idris Elba's in a lot.
Fishburne, you'll be fine.
So, what are you guys' thoughts on that transaction?
I mean,
Go.
I mean, it's hard to sort of judge because we haven't seen the movie, so we don't know how good he's going to be in the role. I mean, I like Idris Elba. I mean, I wouldn't really say he's like Samuel L. Jackson, because like last movie I can think that he was in is Infinity War, but I mean, but this new Suicide Squad is going to be interesting because, like, with Idris Elba being Deadshot, you don't have Rick Flag coming back. It's not confirmed that Margot Robbie's going to come back, although they're saying that they think she is. So, like, at this point, is it really a sequel or is it more of a reboot? It's really
James Gunn.
That's the thing. They're calling it a sequel, but yet some sources are saying that James Gunn said it's going to be a reboot. So
it's kind of changing because originally it was intended as a sequel, but now James Gunn because he's James Gunn, he wants to kind of go his own way. Actually, not all the characters who were used in the first movie are coming back. I think as of right now, Harley, Deadshot, Rick Flag is now out. I think Croc, and I think I could be wrong on the Croc one. I think that's it from the
I think movie. It's not Croc. I think it's King Shark.
No, but King Shark wasn't in the first movie. I'm saying of the characters from the first movie who are coming back. I think that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
personally. Okay, sorry, Malcolm. Go.
I mean, I at the moment I think it's speculation that Harley Quinn's coming back. I don't think that's actually confirmed, but
yeah, I think he wants to use her, but they might recast. I don't know. The Will Smith leaving, it doesn't shock me. Will Smith doesn't seem like
it's Will Smith.
I know he's a part of franchises, but he, as of late, like he doesn't put out a ton of projects. It just doesn't seem like even when he was in Suicide Squad, like it didn't really seem like he wanted to do like 6 Suicide Squad movies. Like, so it made sense that I was like, he's walking away from it. Idris Elba, I wouldn't quite put him at Sam Jackson yet, because Sam Jackson, like in the 90s, was in like everything. But I think he's a good replacement. I think knowing the character from the comics, he could play it really well. I'm just interested by this movie. I didn't hate Suicide Squad like everyone else, but it's certainly with James Gunn in charge, it's going to be interesting to see what his sort of depiction is of the movie.
Yeah,
I
mean, the other thing is like Will Smith is getting to be quite busy. Like he's got a lot of projects in the works. He's becoming like The Rock with a lot of projects, and he's just been cast as Serena Williams' father in another movie as well. So he's got a lot of projects in the works.
So my one concern with Idris, and I love Idris Elba. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I'm excited for any project that he hops in with. I think the one thing that Will Smith brings that I'm not sure that Idris Elba doesn't. In that universe, I feel like you almost need a level of ham or a level of like sort of cheesiness. Like,
fair enough.
Like it's almost like a self-aware sort of thing. I don't know if Idris has that in him.
Go watch The Dark Tower, and you can see.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, so I have a little bit of an issue with this casting right here. Not that I don't want to see Idris Elba in like a DC movie. I don't think this is the right character for them to make Idris Elba. Jon Stewart is my hope, but the guy that they're looking for, Ricky Whittle from American Gods, the guy that they're in talks with right now to play Green Lantern, should be the person to take over Deadshot, and they should swap those around because you need a grizzled older individual to play Jon Stewart, whereas you really could get somebody closer to Margot Robbie's age to play Deadshot if they're gonna try this like love triangle situation that they can't really fucking figure out.
I mean, it would be cool. I mean, this would never happen, but I think it would be pretty cool considering just the history that he has with the character. If they brought in Phil Amara for the live action version of Jon Stewart, it'd never happen. But it'd be a great fan.
65 pounds in muscle.
Well, if they can make Chris Evans a toothpick, I can imagine they can make Phil Amara a buff guy. But the another point that I wanted to bring up, and was that that's reminded by Giggity21. And if you listen to Critically Acclaimed this week, oh man, do Whitney and Bibbs ever get into this topic? It's about the whole like Spielberg Netflix sort of thing. His commentary on how Netflix doesn't really belong into the Academy, which is like. Okay,
I have thoughts on.
I think it's just an evolution on how people consume media, and I think his point and the point that Whitney was trying to bring across is that they're trying. I think they're worried about like what's going to happen to theaters in the next like 20 years or so. That like theaters might like I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I love Steven Spielberg. He's my favorite director of all time. I wasn't getting on him like other people were who were like Spielberg. I think what Steven was looking at it as was kind of from what you were saying about theaters. I think it's also just the fact of like, and I know the Academy, like the voters wouldn't have to care about this because they experience everything, but like, why should I have to, like, if I didn't have a Netflix account, I couldn't see Roma. Like, it wasn't in a theater, but like, that's the thing is like, if we keep going this way, they should have to play in theaters. That way people have an opportunity to see these movies and don't have to own every streaming service ever.
Yeah, but at the exact same point in time, it's cheaper everywhere you go outside of a matinee to buy Netflix than it is to go see a single movie.
Okay.
And if they're gonna start playing movies that are getting Oscar consideration on something like Netflix, you're going to get more people watching that movie at home than you are in theaters.
But the issue is that there are movies on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu could start doing their own stuff. YouTube Red could start doing their own stuff. And then I have to own all of those and pay the monthly fees to see all those movies.
But it's the same thing as like, but it's the same thing being like, oh, I have to go to a movie theater and pay a ticket. You know what I mean?
Then theaters shouldn't gouge me $45 fucking every time I want to go see a movie.
Okay. I'm just saying, listen, I'm just saying I see Spielberg's perspective on this. I think that the Academy, as we move forward, and especially as these streaming services start to produce more content like, you know, Roma and like Manchester by the Sea, I think that the Academy is going to adjust to it, and then also our society is going to adjust to it. As of right now, streaming services' original movies, at least, are not at a point to where they've completely surpassed going to a movie theater.
Oh, now, they definitely don't surpass. But I think like, yeah, I don't think it's a question about whether or not they surpass a theater experience. I think you get different experience. I think you get different experiences where you watch a movie like in either at the comfort of your own home or a movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the point of like, oh, I have to pay all these different streaming services. Like you could like I think the way to look at it is for somebody not me myself, but like somebody somebody doesn't have any of the streaming services, whatever, and they're like, hey, you need to go check out like Beasts of No Nation, a great Netflix original movie, and it's like, oh, I'll pay $10 to go watch Beasts of No Nation, and then I can just cancel my subscription. Or if I like that and other content, like you're essentially, I look at Netflix the same way I look at Spotify. Spotify is the greatest $12 a month I ever spent because I'm essentially paying for an album a month. And I listen to, I would say, at least 2 or 3 new albums a month. So, like, I think it's just a great value.
No, that's fair, and that's fair. Maybe I'm just an old fart who maybe I don't get to go to the movies as much as I would like to, but I don't mind the viewer experience and having to pay for that. That's just me because I don't have access to all these streaming services on my own. As of right now, I really only have.
And I'm in a similar situation in the exact opposite. Like it's an hour drive for me to go to the nearest theater, and yeah. So,
what are we talking about?
The world. We're talking about Spielberg's comments on Netflix, and
those of us who didn't go on break half an hour into the show. We're talking about Spielberg and his Netflix comments.
I think what he did was he generalized the situation, and it's not something that you can really generalize because it's not like Roma didn't play in theaters.
Roma had a limited release. Yeah.
Roma played in theaters, so it's still technically following guidelines at this point in time to even get a shot at it, right? So what's the big deal? If it's a Netflix original, if it's a fucking Hulu original, any one of these, as long as it plays in a theater, regardless of where, if it plays in 3 of the metropolitan areas, it should still get a shot just because it's produced by a streaming service that somebody might not have the ability to go and see it. Somebody might not have the ability to go see it in theaters. But I'm not going to wait until it comes out on DVD after it wins a bunch of awards to be like, I wonder if this is going to be good. Well, everybody said it was good, then I'll spend $22 on it when I could have spent $12.99 and watched it. That's my thing behind that one.
I think the thing with Roma is like, just Roma in particular, Roma was a Mexican white and black and white film directed by a high-profile director. Let's be honest, guys. How many theaters will it have gotten if it was released, I don't know, by Paramount? Probably not more than 1,000, right?
Oh, it would have gotten.
What wouldn't have gotten here?
Yeah, wouldn't like neither. Well, I'm Mexican. It didn't open in any big chains because they didn't want it because of the release strategy. And that's from. But like, if you think like bigger pictures, it's hard because I don't think many Netflix movies are good. It's most of them they create from zero. They are not that good. But then I think Spielberg has a point, and I understand it, and I kind of agree with him. However, I also think Netflix has a point of like I want to, you know how much I wanted to watch Martin Scorsese's Silence in 2016. And guess what? It opened like in March at 10 p.m. in one theater, which is like 30 minutes away from my house. And that's the opportunity that Netflix has, and I don't think Spielberg understands. I mean, he's a purist. He loves, and I think the experience is so important for the viewer. I will always prefer to watch a movie, but you cannot go back and get all the people in the theater because it's way harder. We don't have as much time as we used to think. Like we need to work more. I don't work, but like many people my age, like they need to work more to get a better living, and being in like it's just like. I had never paid like more than $10 for a ticket because I live like in a low wage area, but just hearing the prices in New York, like it's $20 a ticket and just a whole family is $100, and then that's what you pay for Netflix for, I don't know, 7 months, I guess.
Yeah, after I guess, if I don't go on that, if I like Tuesday is the cheap day here. If I don't go on Tuesday, my tickets are, because for some reason here 3D is still like a massive trend, and they hardly ever do a straight 2D release. It's always 3D. So my tickets usually $15 to $18. Sometimes, depending on the movie, you'll upgrade to D-Box. And it has to be a particular movie. Like the first movie I ever did it with was Doctor Strange, because I knew that was going to be like a trippy movie. and I figured D-Box would thrive on that. But yeah, after like a ticket, and then I usually get like pretzel bites and a pop. My tickets, I'm paying like $30 a pop. Malcolm.
I mean, with Spielberg's comments, like I do see where he's coming from, especially when talking about Roma and that. Like, I think the way a lot of the news articles, though, they took his comments and twisted them a little bit like they normally do to make it seem worse than what they actually were. Because, and the thing is, like, if it's good enough to be nominated, then good. It gets nominated. It doesn't really matter whether it was majorly released on a streaming service, because like Roma did get a limited theatrical run. It was in limited cinemas, and the figures with foreign movies, like, and not a lot of people go out to the cinemas to see foreign movies. Like, while it is sad, but it is a trend. Like, a lot of people would rather go to see the cinemas, see like big actiony things, like, but things like Roma and like rom-coms that, which are on a smaller scale, you would find that they really don't get a lot of traction going in the cinemas.
Just think about The Irishman.
The Irishman could have been released in theaters.
Because I was gonna. I had a question for Sandy, because Sandy's been surprisingly quiet. So because I was gonna say that 2019, like this year's Roma is essentially going to be Scorsese's Irishman. Do you think, like, with this, like, I wouldn't say controversy, but with this sort of like cause of debate, do you think this deters or like enhances Irishman's like award potential?
I mean, it depends on who's in. I'm sorry, Sandy.
Oh, it's all right. Go ahead.
No, go, Sandy. You've been quiet. Your thoughts?
I don't think it'll hurt it at all.
No.
And to Malcolm's point a little earlier, this is the media can do whatever they want. This is not the first time that Steven Spielberg has come out and said these things about Netflix. So he feels strongly about this. I disagree with him completely. I agree that you know what, as far as movie theaters go, if you go back 15 years, video games and video game consoles and movie tickets were completely reversed. But now video games and consoles and streaming and everything like that has become a $12 billion a year market, whereas movie theaters are bringing in 5, 6, 7, and so that's already been on a downward trend. People want to stay at home in the comfort of their own home. I, for one, love going to the theater, but what I hate more than anything else, especially now, and I love this because it's awesome that you can book you can reserve your seats and stuff like that. But what has really started to annoy me is that means people know that they don't have to show up until right before the movie starts. And they are all, while I'm watching trailers, wandering around, making me pull my feet back up and wandering. And I hate that. If I didn't love movies so much, I would wait for them on digital every single time and never go again.
15 years ago, I was able to get a candy bar, a bag of chips, a comic book, a pack of smokes, and a bottle of Coke for $10.
Brooklyn, I need you to save that voice for a character for late. And I don't know what character, but
okay.
I just
like,
wanted to
as soon
say,
as you said, because as soon as Sandy said 15 years ago, I instantly remember my dad being like, I remember when I first started smoking, you get smokes out of a vending machine for 99 cents a pack, and now they're like $15. I can never understand.
Can I say something about The Irishman?
Yeah, I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, sure, I will.
There you go, Ed.
Okay, I don't care. I'm not a native English. Hey, trata de hablar español, pendejo. You won't understand what I say.
No habla español, señor. No habla español.
Okay, just wanted to say, The Irishman. That movie was supposed to come on in theaters, right? It was Sticks had the package, like they bought it in Cannes like 3 years ago. The movie now has cost $140 million. Let's be honest. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, they're not draws anymore, and they will probably cannot hit a $50 million opening with that. And the only company that was willing to put that money was Netflix. Wasn't Warner Bros. Wasn't Paramount wasn't because they cannot make money with that, and that's a fault of the audience and the companies that keep those budgets extremely high. That's everything I just wanted to say.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a chance that with The Irishman, if it gets the standard movie release that it's got to do to qualify for the Oscars, then they'll do that. I really don't. From that random tease of audio that we heard, I don't know if it's going to be any good.
I mean, it depends. Like, I don't think that this discussion or debate, whatever you want to call it, I don't think that's going to affect The Irishman's award potential, because I think there are enough people, even in the Academy, who still feel that movies like Roma and everything should count the same way that a movie like Green Book that was released worldwide in theaters can count. I mean, it all depends on the quality of Irishman. I know it's one of my most anticipated movies. I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping it's a good movie. And, you know, I think what Abe said was really interesting is the fact that, like, I'm being drawn to The Irishman because I love De Niro and Pacino and Pesci, but, like, most people my age don't really give a shit about those guys. And that's a really great point. And that's the thing. That's why I said that, like, you know, Spielberg is an old school guy, and sometimes it's hard for old school people to recognize that, like, our world is moving in a different way, and these stream platforms are, you know, they're giving people opportunities that they didn't before.
People in general just don't like change. Like, anytime any form of change comes up, there's always going to be people that are like, no, this old way works. Why are you changing it this way?
Yeah, George Lucas.
And the counter is now back to 0 days without talking about Star Wars. You're doing so good. You had to mention George Lucas. Now the
you're not the right. I had to mention George Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, like, talking about like De Niro not being much of a draw anymore. When you look at the last few movies that he's actually been in that have been released, like there was Dirty Grandpa, that Wizard of Lies TV movie, Joy, The Intern. I think all those movies.
Robert De Niro is still. There's no. Robert De Niro is definitely still a draw. People go back to him the same reason people go back to, like, NES games. It's purely for nostalgia. Like when people see him in roles like The Irishman, or people the Family, which stars what's her name from
Michelle
Glee.
Pfeiffer.
Yes, The Family was a great movie. And
I loved that.
But
that was a really fun movie.
He's not enough of a draw, like, to pull off a 40 million opening for a film that costs 140.
Yeah,
I honestly just think the only draw that the guy that can give you 300 million for a movie locked is Leonardo DiCaprio right now. The Revenant made $500 million. Tell me which movie star can do that with that movie, with a long, almost 3-hour movie, boring of walking. Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's the only draw. Argue with me, I'll fight.
Tom Cruise, Denzel, Tom Hanks.
I mean, what I was meaning about that. What I was meaning about that comment about him not being that much of a draw, like when you look at a lot of people do look at the past performances of actors. If The Irishman was released like not too long after Heat, Casino, Goodfellas, then maybe it will have more shot. But in this day and age, when the last movies that Rob De Niro has done have not been that great. I mean, I like Rob De Niro. I probably would still see The Irishman if they released in theaters in New Zealand, which they probably won't anyway.
But with that as well, though, you have to think about, like, in the 90s, like, what was he predominantly doing? He was doing, like, these crime drama thriller aspects, and you see now, like, there's one exception of him in the 90s with Meet the Parents, but you look at now, like Dirty Grandpa, The Intern. Nobody. We don't talk about movie release dates here. The curse does not exist in this panel.
Fair enough.
The curse does not exist. I do not have to make sandwiches, but because fuck does it ever get expensive.
Did Analyze that come out in the 90s, or was that the 80s?
Analyze.
I think the first one came out in the 90s. Like, I think I want to say it was like 99. It could be.
I
it
mean,
could be
because that
pulling
would
up
still
Flip
was
right
like
now, but-
mob stuff. It
my
was
whole
just-
my whole point is that I think Robert De Niro is not really hand picking movies anymore. It's almost like cash grabs, almost like Sir Anthony Hopkins. They have very similar career paths. It's like because Anthony Hopkins' greatest work was easily in the 90s. And then you look at his stuff now, it's a lot of like franchise stuff. Like he's prominent in Transformers, and like he's great as Odin in Thor in the MCU. But yeah, he's also in a lot of garbage.
True.
So just a quick fact check. Analyze This came out in 1999.
Yeah, Meet the Parents came out in 2000. Meet the Fockers 2004. So,
All right. Well, what sandwich should I make?
BLT. I like BLTs.
Hold on. Do you have to enjoy said sandwich?
Yes.
Okay.
Then what's
What
the
sandwich
that,
do you
that, that,
like?
that defeats the purpose of making a sandwich.
I didn't know there was a I didn't really see.
I didn't know if you had to enjoy the sandwich because you got it wrong. Why would we reward you for being wrong?
Because now we're exploring like the source of the joke. The whole reason that this thing started is that it was meant to be as a care package. Because if you go back to like when I originally started saying like the Brooklyn Vale like cursor, like the care package, whatever, there were 3 things that came with it: a Band-Aid, a Powerade, and a sandwich. But throughout the course of evolution, it got shortened down to literally just a sandwich. Some people still reference Powerade, but those are purists.
I'm gonna start referencing Band-Aid now.
For real.
Oh yeah, I mean that's crazy to think. Like I'm gonna go off on a tangent here. That's crazy to think. I've been in this community for maybe a year and a half, and like it's weird having to explain a joke like that as if it's like been like lore for years and years.
It's because everything it's like dog years, man. In this community, it's 1 year is 7. It takes so much out of you. Does it? Yeah. But we reference it all the time, Brooklyn. You're literally famous for that. Like every time somebody misses it on a question or misses it or just by 1, it's all right. Brooklyn's gonna get you a sandwich. I mean, like
the day that it gets referenced in the Schmodown, life is complete.
Yep.
The day it gets referenced in the Schmodown, life is complete. But that is a terrible segue to go into our theme, because I was trying to think of a way to transfer into Brie Larson, and there was no way possible. But yeah,
Brie Larson
I mean,
has been asked questions in the Schmodown. There you go.
I mean, there have been questions about Brie Larson movies,
Yeah,
but yeah, but like I'm sure everybody has heard that Brie Larson is Captain Marvel. It comes out technically today. Reviews have been
mixed
to positive. I'm still gonna go see it because this is integral to how they set up Endgame, and more so what they do after Endgame. Because I have 2 theories there's 2 things that I hope they do. If they do one, I hope they do that and then set it up into this, and that and whatnot. But yeah, Brie Larson's had a pretty steady filmography. Like she hasn't been in a lot of shit. Like I know people in this community despise Scott Pilgrim versus the World for some reason.
What?
They just don't like. I guess they just don't like quirky movies.
It's a great movie.
Oh, Sandy. Now, see, Sandy's the same person that likes Will Ferrell, though. So he's like a communist.
Wait, what? I like Will Ferrell.
He is wearing red.
I do not like Will Ferrell.
I don't like Will Ferrell. No,
I hate Will Ferrell.
But that means that you're a communist, though. People that don't like Will Ferrell are the same people that don't like sunshine. They don't like They don't like sunshine and rainbows.
People that like Will Ferrell are the people that live in the world of idiocracy. That's IQ.
Hey, Malcolm, Matt. Hey, Matt, do you want to throw?
Idiocracy?
I mean, what a Will Ferrell's
I just want to say that President Camacho is way better than the hot tall guy that rules Canada.
The hot tall guy.
He gave us Powerade in our drinking fountains.
And for our crops, they crave electrolytes.
I love Adria.
But back to Brie Larson. I mean, she's obviously an Academy Award-winning actress for Room, not to be confused with the great Tommy Wiseau
hi,
film
Brie.
The Room. Oh, hi, Brie. But the question that I had, because I remember whenever they first announced the casting for Captain Marvel, there was a lot of speculation of like, it could be Emily Blunt, it could be her, it could be Anne Hathaway. I think was also in talks of being Captain Marvel. Maybe, I don't know. But my question to you guys is if for some reason Brie Larson wasn't Captain Marvel, what hero do you cast her as?
That's a great question. I haven't seen enough to be honest. I haven't seen Room yet. I know I'm probably late to the part of that. The really only movie I've seen her in is 21 Jump Street. Yeah. So based
she was in
on
a season of Community. Come on.
I've never seen Community. Well, no, that's a lie. I've seen a couple of episodes on American Airlines flights. Based on 21 Jump Street. No, I've seen her in Scott Pilgrim. That's right. I've seen Scott Pilgrim as well, which I like that movie, Brooklyn.
That movie's great.
I don't know what hero she could play based on
I think if she's paired up with the right person, she could make an interesting Elektra.
I don't know if anyone would go see an Elektra movie.
Well, not necessarily Elektra movie, but if they bring, I would say I'd be willing to bet money within the next like 15 years that they bring back Daredevil to the big screen.
She'd actually be okay as, and they could recast her. They could recast Natalie Portman and they could have given her Jane Foster as the new female Thor, right? So
yeah,
I don't think
that would be interesting.
I think she would have probably done okay with that one too. I mean, I'm stupid looking forward to Captain Marvel. I don't care what anybody says on the internet. I think it's going to be an absolute brilliant movie. So, but yeah, no, I think Jane Foster, new Thor would have been kick-ass.
Yeah, I mean the people that I know that sing Captain Marvel have given it really positive reviews. Like our friend Henry gave it a 4.5 stars. So I mean, he really did enjoy it. So
Kristen Smith also liked it.
Who's Kristen Smith?
I don't know. This weekend on the summit, you definitely won't know. Just
I don't like that.
No, I mean, I don't care about reactions to Captain Marvel. Like, I haven't read a review for it because I just want to go in fresh. Like, that's me. Like, the most I've seen is that it's like headlines are like, "Oh, it's mixed," and I'm like, I don't care. As you guys know, I like a lot of movies people hate, so even if it is mixed, I might like it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't read reviews. I've just sort of seen the star ratings on Letterboxd. That's all I've seen from various people. But anyway, sort of back to Brie Larson. I mean, I think she'd probably do well as maybe if they ever bring She-Hulk into the MCU. I think she could be quite good as that.
She would be interesting as she would be interesting as She-Hulk. She would be interesting as well. As the Indigo Lantern, she might if that were to ever happen, they might be able to swap.
Star Sapphire?
Not Star Sapphire, but there's it's the Indigo Lanterns. It's like almost tribal.
Oh, the blue. That's right.
Yeah. No, blue is the one that is Hope, I believe. Because Indigo's like compassion. Yeah.
I'm slightly colorblind, so all of the colors on that spectrum run together to me.
So what colors are you blind to?
Green and blue. It's not reds for some reason. Oh, I can't lie, it is reds. Like I can't tell the difference between like say a dark red and a light red. They just look like gray to me. Like the only reason I can tell that Sandy's wearing a red shirt is because he's got something blue behind him, and those grays look completely different, and it's a guess. It's okay. I can tell this lumpy color over here a little bit better than I can this one, and my brain differentiates that way. Like every time I write on my board when I play a match, my marker is gray unless I'm using a purple.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
That's very fascinating. I only have one friend who's colorblind, so I'm always not in a like I'm always just interested to
My dad is blind.
The sort of turned it into a joke. Finding a friend that's colorblind is like finding a Rhode Island license plate. You don't see it a whole lot, but when you do, it's pretty cool.
I think she'd make a good Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
To tell you the truth.
Good choice. Good choice.
I know I made a joke that she'd make a great Jubilee, but I don't think anybody could really do a good Jubilee.
Yeah.
She'd make an interesting rogue. I'd be curious to see if they cast her instead of Anna Paquin in that trilogy.
I think she's too old for that trilogy, though.
Yeah,
if they were to cast her like at the time, because are her and Anna the same age ish?
Brie Larson is like in the
no.
she's
Anna Paquin was 11 in 94, so she would have been relatively young in the because she was one of the youngest actors to win an Oscar.
By the time the first segment was released, Brie Larson was like
Piano was 94.
Wait a second, wait, time out here. I can't believe I didn't know.
Anna Paquin's
girl
36.
won for one of the youngest people. She's in Dark Phoenix. Huh. Well, interesting. I didn't know that. I'm an idiot. That's why.
You heard it here first. Matthew Kearns admitted that he is an idiot. We'll mark this on the calendars, March 7th, 2019, 11:24 p.m. at Daylight Savings Time. You guys
Brie
heard
Larson
it.
Brie Larson is 29.
You're welcome, Brooklyn. Wow. I hope that makes you feel better. It's just like the summit again.
Now, to sort of go off, like, because the other part of this sort of theme is the superheroines that we want to see on screen. Now, I hope what they do, because if she's similar, and Malcolm might be able to back me up on this. If she's the same way that she is in the video games, I would love to see a Into the Spider-Verse-esque film about the new Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. I think that would be great. That would be great. Because I don't know, because I think just based on the interpretations that we had of like Mr. Fantastic, like the stretchy kind of people, it doesn't work well in real life. I think animated is the best way to go, and that really fits her personality, because she's very like, teenager, spunky, rambunctious. I think it's great. It would also get believe she's Pakistani origin, so that would be she
was born in New Jersey, but she is of Pakistan. Her parents are from Pakistan.
I think they were developing a series or a movie from her.
Years ago. I think Kevin Feige did say something that they are looking at that Ms. Marvel for a future movie.
Young Avengers. Because then you get one of the greatest heroes out ever, who is Hulkling, who is essentially Hulk as a shapeshifter that can also fly.
Brooklyn, what would you do if tomorrow you woke up and Kevin Feige was like, the new Avengers is the next movie we're releasing?
You mean the Young Avengers? Because the new Avengers,
the Young Avengers. I mean, I'm sorry.
I might cry. I might.
What if he say you could be the executive producer of it?
Then we never know when the movie was coming out. We'd always be a year off.
I mean, the other thing is, it's who would you get to play Ms. Marvel?
Ms. Marvel?
It has to be unknown.
Because that's a difficult one, because
Shamila Jamil, is that her name? The chick from The Good Place.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I do.
I think that might be the beauty of it, is that I don't know who to cast.
Well, this is my
favorite. I think that role would probably thrive best for an unknown.
That's what I was about to say.
Scott, the girl that's playing the Jasmine in Aladdin, is the only high caliber talent. If not even high caliber, that I can think so. Sorry, Matt, continue.
No, well, that's what I was going to say. And this is just an interesting pick of superhero movies. At least, like nowadays, when we talk about like, oh, there's a new superhero movie, it's always just like, ooh, Idris Elba, this person. It's like, whatever happened to the days of like this Juilliard trained actor gets cast as Superman and no one's really ever heard of him anymore. Yes, you got that right. Well, no, it's serious. Like you laugh, but it's like,
Okay.
whatever happened to that? Like whatever happened?
What happened to that was we started putting $250 million into movies, and we aren't hedging our bets on an unknown. We want people who have a name to play things because people with names will bring money in.
But look at
you asked why, I gave you a reason.
No, and that's fair, but I just think that the properties themselves are bringing the money. More
Right
like
now,
look
they
at the
are.
X-Men. Like Hugh Jackman was no one, and he kind of put all their stuff behind him in that X-Men movie. I just think that it's like a lot of properties are strong enough that if you
But that was
a lot
also
of
in
unknowns.
the era where we didn't have a whole lot of superhero films. Now we're in the era where we're spoiled with it, and we are getting $200-300 million movies. That's not what the X-Men was. They put a lot behind it, and it paid off.
I mean,
but now we have a certain level where we're at, where we expect it to be good, and we don't want to put an unknown in that because we don't know if that unknown quantity will be good enough to justify the money put behind it. I think that's where they're going.
Just think about Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth. They weren't known, like they were good actors. We've seen them
Chris
before.
Hemsworth, his most notable thing at that time was Star Trek.
Yeah, they weren't drawn on anything, and they're not the biggest stars of the MCU next to Robert Downey Jr.
I mean,
the thing with Brie Larson is she was very unknown. Well, I mean, she was established as an actress, but the thing, she was cast the year she won the Oscar in Comic-Con. That year that's why it's well known. But like, it's not like she has come out with any incredible well-known movies since Room.
Yeah.
Until now with Captain Marvel. So they're pretty much known for the like regular people, known for us because we're there. Like, we follow everything. But like, I don't, it's hard, like as Jay said, it's hard like to just someone that, I mean, Daisy Ridley.
No, that's yeah.
Daisy Ridley is a good example.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those ones, to me, like, it doesn't matter if it's known or unknown. Like, it's, for example, like, if they were to announce that they were going to do like a Black Widow movie and recast Scarlett Johansson as someone else, like, Black Widow is a name that most people would recognize and would probably go see regardless of who's in it. But if they say that they're going to do like, what's a lesser known superhero?
Kate Bishop.
Alpha Flight.
I would argue that Kate Bishop as a female Hawkeye is kind of she's kind of midground. Like, people do know that name when you say it's the female Hawkeye, but like and I mean, there's a rumor that
okay, so then, well, if you want to go obscure, we could go America Chavez, I believe her name is. It's the female Captain America from the future.
Yeah,
I think it's Captain America 2099.
Yeah, I mean, I think with some of those characters, like there's I don't know if you're aware, but there's a TV series on Disney called Marvel Rising. Which
because it has
and America Chavez is one of those characters. So I think because of those sort of cartoons now, like if they were to bring her in, people would know who was like, oh, that's the chick that was from that TV show we watched.
Has any so speaking of like lesser known Marvel heroes, has anybody been watching The Runaways at all?
No. How is that?
I started, but it didn't.
No. Okay. I was because like anytime I'm over at mom and dad's, I always see like commercials for it, and I was curious as to like, is this actually like any good?
I mean, Cloak and Dagger is also, I think it's a running series right now.
Are they both on? Are they both on Showtime?
No one. Is
Runaways Showtime?
Runaways
is on Showtime.
Well, Runaways is Hulu in America, so I know that's there.
It's Sandy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's Showtime in Canada.
Yeah. So it's Hulu in America.
Runaways is on FX, isn't it?
I was gonna say,
is it FX? Okay,
I think it's FX.
Then again, I was the same person that thought Riverdale was Netflix exclusive, and they're like, nope, it's on CW.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have Riverdale too in it.
And
I'm
actually,
old enough to remember.
yeah.
Sorry, Malcolm. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's like, yeah, no, I just thought of like lesser known sort of Marvel comics that actually did really well when they were adapted. Is like the Guardians of the Galaxy were lesser known characters that not many people knew before they made the movie of it, and then because they got really big star power behind those actors like Zoe Saldana, Chris Pratt, and all that, people that they knew, it's been sort of known as opposed to if you get a well-known actor, then the movie doesn't really do that well. And I know, Matt, you do like Daredevil, but a lot of people didn't like it because of various writing outside of it. And, but a lot of people considers it not to do well, even though you may like it. But
Okay, my next question, my next and probably my final question of discussion, is that what hero gets their movie first? Does Spider-Gwen get a movie first, or do we see either like Supergirl or Batgirl?
You're talking live action?
Yeah, well, just big screen in general, like solo, not as part of like an ensemble, like your next like what's the next solo female movie you think that's gonna come up?
I think Supergirl could happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, Supergirl and Batgirl are reportedly in production anyway.
No, but they're not.
Well, that's why I said reportedly. I mean, when it comes to DC stuff, who knows? I mean, there is a Black Widow solo movie that is happening because and apparently Emma Watson is reported up for a role opposite Scarlett Johansson, so which is going to be interesting. But that one, I think could be the next one. I don't know sort of when. Yeah, but once again, sort of happening.
I think Spider-Gwen comes first because of the success of Spider-Verse, and they were developing a sequel, and I don't see them doing like a Batwoman movie after before the Batman comes out in 2021. And I think Supergirl has a chance, but like it has some kind of success in the CW, so I think
that's
they
the
will
thing
have
with
to kill that show.
Woman, at least, is she's getting a show on CW, so that also kind of it depends on.
I think that knocks both of them out of the running. Though.
Yeah,
like
with the Bat ones though, like Batgirl is Barbara Gordon. That the Batwoman on the CW show is a completely different character. So they can do a Batgirl movie. They just can't do a Batwoman movie.
They were supposed to go some series silence, and she was supposed to be in there, but like Margot Robbie decided for what's that name? Birds of Prey.
How about this? Just to think out of the box, because they don't want to really do another Hulk standalone movie, because I mean the Incredible Hulk didn't have a ton of success, but he did when he teamed up with Thor in Ragnarok, which was considered a great team up. What if they did a Hulk She-Hulk?
Do you think they'll be able to do that because the rights with Universal? Maybe just if you put Hulk in the title, he's the main character. You cannot distribute that.
I like the idea that Sandy has.
Yeah, I like it too.
To sort of like twist it a little bit, because I would love to see She-Hulk and Daredevil purely because they're both lawyers. You know what I mean? And I'm a sucker for courtroom dramas.
Me too.
Yeah, Malcolm.
I mean, it depends on what they want to do with Daredevil. Like we don't really know if what's happening with that character.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Well, we know what's going to happen. They all the seasons go on Netflix. They took them off of Netflix. They will come back on the Disney streaming service. That's exactly
Malcolm, remember, we're part of the greater entity known as the internet. The internet knows everything. So once the internet says something, then it's like that's canon. That's set in stone.
It's going.
Yeah, I mean they haven't. They like when they bring the shows onto the Disney streaming service and stuff. Like even though that's inevitably what's going to happen, I dare say they're going to reboot from start because they haven't taken off the shows. They're going to keep what's been put on Netflix, so they're probably going to restart again. Quite possibly. Who knows?
Netflix will keep the shows that they produce. That's perfect. They'll stay on Netflix. But why would the cast change if they were just going to move over there? That would be stupid on Disney's set. You've already got a proven cast, a proven concept
that people like. Like, it's one thing if fans weren't behind, but like people are behind Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Jonathan Burfill as Punisher. Like, people are behind those actors in those roles.
I mean, the point I was trying to make though is more of a case of, it's if they want to get sort of some new people to understand the shows.
I get what you're saying.
So that they're not going to want to start off from where the show's left off and have if you want to see what happened before, go to Netflix. Some people who get the Disney streaming service might not be on Netflix. So
that means we lose D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
We lose Charlie Cox.
Sad.
Charlie Cox is Daredevil and Matt Murdock. He's really good as Matt Murdock.
I actually prefer Ben Affleck as Daredevil.
What?
On that one, I do as well. I do as well.
Hot take.
Well, that guys, that puts us at about an hour and 40 minutes. It's a good time to wrap things up. I wrap it up with a little bit of a hot take. So I do want to thank everybody for coming on to a great show nonetheless. Be sure to check out our episode next week, which is going to be a St. Patrick's Day theme. So we're going to be talking about great drinking movies and whatnot, because I was looking at the movies released next week, and it's a dry old week. Nothing really big coming out.
Just like my
you knew he was going to say something.
Jay, where can the good kids of the world find you?
The good kids of the world can find me on Facebook at jburns253, on Letterboxd at jbr253, on Instagram at bargang_burns, on YouTube at both Burns and the Boatman, and your friendly neighborhood movie nerds. And you can find me sitting here wishing Selma Blair the best of luck fighting her MS.
Yes. Sandy, where can the cool kids of the world find you?
The good kids of the world can find me all over Full Metal Trivia, guys. We've had a recent rash of new people. So please go to the Facebook page and go to Full Metal Trivia and sign up, or message me on Facebook at srobinson1799. And you can see me here with Matt Kearns, second host of Rhyme and Reason. We will have a new episode coming up Saturday where we talk about 80s action movies. It's going to be an absolute blast. But yeah, and follow me on Letterboxd and Twitter, srobinson1799. Thanks so much, Brooklyn. I love being here.
Awesome. Malcolm, where can the cool kids of the world find you?
You can find me hosting Rankum every Sunday night, and this coming one is going to be Ben Affleck movies. You can find me on Full Metal Trivia, and where I now host Full Metal Random, which is a random trivia topic every week, because, as you'll know, Jeremy Adams, our faithful question writer, has gone on to bigger things and giving the Schmodown committed as hell with his questions. Let's hope for some people categories on the reel. But you can also find me on Multiplex, where I'm helping Tim Smith co-write TV Throwdown. And you can also find me on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Stardust at Malcor.
All right. Matt Kearns, where can the cool kids of the world find you?
I've seen how long you can hold it for. The cool kids, as always, can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, MattMovie611 on YouTube, and right here as co-host of Rhyme and Reason with Sandy Robinson. Episode that went up last week was on Tom Cruise. Me and Sandy talked about our favorite Tom Cruise movie and performance. This week, as Sandy said, we're doing 80s action movies. You can also find me as the host of Second Look, the monthly movie show where I talk about a movie or TV show that I feel like people don't talk about as much as they should. Last month's episode was on Batman Forever. This month's episode, I'll be looking at the Smallville Season 2 finale, Exodus. You can also, as always, find me every week on the Schmodown Reactors Summit, where we talk about all the things going on in the Schmodown, and also here on Late Night.
Yeah. All right. And Abe, where can the cool kids of the world find? I do.
I was not thinking of saying anything stupid right now, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Brooklyn likes to suck ass. You can follow Twitter at AbrahamF25. I watched the reactor summit that goes up. Watch Matt and I latest reaction to the latest Shimura match, which will probably go up later today or maybe early tomorrow because I'm just gonna export it. And that's it.
All right, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the
Tell me
MVP
if
Kev,
you
the
don't
number,
know.
not the word. You can also find me on I'm Take Two Productions right here, running not one but two shows, Shootbox Trivia, various music trivia that goes up every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Words, blah. Also, right here at Late Night Take Three, a Topical Pop Culture podcast. Sure to check out, like I said, St. Patrick's Day episode tomorrow. Working on getting a special guest. We're throwing out the Tim Hortons money. We're going to see how that goes. Also on Multiplex, running Nerdgasm with that son of a bitch, Cody Newberry. Matches go up usually every Saturday. Sometimes, life likes to throw a speed bump in there, so we adjust accordingly. And on Full Metal Trivia, jobbing to better, except for the great random match that was Family Guy Trivia. I now feel relevant in this community. So for Jay, for Malcolm, for Kearns, for Sandy, for Abe, I've been Black Knight of Brooklyn Vale. Cheers, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Join the Facebook page. Join Full Metal Media. Join Multiplex. Comment on wrestling. This is a great community. And to anybody who has recently been that influx that has joined the community, welcome. You will not regret it. Cheers, guys. And as always, drive safely.